Greetings, friends. I know a man who has two university-age children, like a son and a daughter, and he lives with them and his wife. So the other three members of his family are fully dosed. He is not. He doesn't want to be. And this is very uncomfortable for him to remain in the presence of his family to the extent where he's trying to get out of the house as much as possible. Because they are uncomfortable being around him, his own wife, his own children. In my own life, I have not seen one of my close family members since the beginning of lockdowns over a year and a half ago, and I have no reason to think that I will ever hang out with them again. I mean, maybe it'll happen, maybe briefly, but even my father, he's come around, we've hung out a few times. He's stopped by briefly while he's out doing errands. But he's nervous to be in a building with me because I'm not dosed. He's fully dosed. I'm assuming my other family relations will also be dosed. I have some family members that live in the United States. Will I ever be able to travel again, let alone travel to the United States? Because I won't have any plans on being dosed unless they forcibly do it to me, which would be horrible. Would they even want to see me if I could get into the US? Would they actually want to hang out with me? They have small children now. They have like an infant. Like a lot of mothers might be nervous about having a non-dosed person be around their child. So this just gives them an excuse like to deny you. Or I know I have a friend that this happened within Canada. Like he had a close member of his family. The wife didn't want him being around their kid. They knew that he didn't wear a mask at work. His work was lax about it and didn't care, which is nice to hear, and that he probably wasn't practicing so-called social distancing. The knowledge of this in regards to my friend was enough that this other person didn't want him coming too close, either to her or to her child. And it's not just the injection issue, but that's becoming sort of the wedge that the elites are using to drive a wedge. And then when they bring back the lockdowns very shortly, I'm expecting in a few weeks or less, when they bring those lockdowns back, and they already are, blaming everything on the people who have not been infected, saying they're the reason that all these are supposedly causing, more deaths. And this joke just goes on and on. I mean, do we really have to break it down here? By this point, if you still believe it, it's obviously a cult. I mean, if you still believed it 2 or 3 months into what was happening, but by that point, there was already a cult. So there's no point at this late stage in the game from breaking down these things like who's in the hospital, ivermectin. I mean, just like, who cares anymore? We all know it's a joke, and if you don't, then that's your religion. And unfortunately, I think the religion is cut right through my family, and it's probably cut through your family too, perhaps. Canada geese, they're so annoying. One of those geese actually just dropped something, and it landed 20 feet from me just now. And you can imagine what fell. So we're faced with the reality that if you don't go along with all of their plans, then you're going to be a second-class citizen. You're going to be denied opportunities to be employed. You're going to be denied the ability to travel. You're going to be ostracized and isolated from your friends and family. They're going to come and regulate you in whatever way they can. They're going to make life difficult for you in whatever way they can. They're going to make it more difficult for you to make money. They're going to remove cash from the economy. So once we get to a fully cashless economy, then they can control your bank account much more easily and shut off your access to your bank account. They're already doing this with right-wing people in the United States, closing down their bank accounts. This happened to Lauren Witzke. And it's not just the injections, it's everything else. This isn't stopping. It was the mask. It was all these other things. You have to agree to everything they say. That is basically what they want. That's what they're demanding, is full submission. we're faced with a choice. Are we going to go along to get along? Are we going to take the stabby? And I know some people have taken the stabby that don't agree with the elites, but they did it for their own reasons. I know, that's true. But overall, are you going to go along with what the elites want? Or are you going to say, no, I'm not? Because this is a question for your soul. Are you living for this world? Are you swayed ultimately by this world? Or do you live for another world beyond this life? Because if you want to live for this world, then it would make sense to go along with this, right? I mean, it's going to get worse, but if it's all about this world and there's nothing else beyond this world, then you may as well just go along. Because life is not going to be very convenient for you if you disagree. But because I believe that there is something worthwhile preserving in the soul, because I do believe that there is a future for the soul beyond this world, I can think and make the decision not to participate in this nonsense, in these evil matters, because it really is a question of destroying your soul. They are destroying the person, they are dehumanizing you. They did it with a mask, now they're doing it with injections into your body. So if you are in a difficult position, you want to go to university, you want to get a job, you want to be employed, you want to make money, you want to live, you want to have a family, you want to travel, all these meaningful things, and even these things that aren't meaningful, like going to Cancun, going to vacation in Spain, all these materialistic things. You know, just that alone people are going to want to hold on to, let alone the idea of having a future, or even the prospect that you may be killed. They may kill you for your stance. It comes time to make a decision, and it's difficult. I can understand some people, they want to go with the flow. I can understand, like if you're got 3 kids, 4 kids, and you live in a big city, are you going to stop your kids from getting the dose? Because it could make maybe they can't go to school anymore. Maybe now you have to move the family. Now you have to try and homeschool them, or maybe they're too old for that. Now they can't get into a high school. They can't get into a university or a college. Are they going to blame you for that? Are you going to put your family at risk? But what is risk? How do you define risk in this context? If it's about their soul, and it is about their physical health too, then is that worth more than money or status or access to the right organizations? We don't know. We can be very black-pilled, but no one knows how the future is going to unfold. We don't know what loopholes there are going to be. We don't know how the underground market will deliver solutions. So there's no need to be fully cynical about this. But we should acknowledge that we see the direction things are heading in. They're coming for us sooner or later. And it ain't going to be pretty. Things are going to get a whole lot worse. So the sooner we face up to that and live with our decisions and making big decisions like this. Morgoth's review was saying that young men had to make these decisions in the past, life-changing decisions that would impact you for the rest of your life, like choosing not to go to war in the First World War. You'd be socially ostracized as a coward. Or choosing to go on a merchant ship for the next 7 years, because otherwise you were stuck on the farm. These were huge decisions. They could lead to your life ending. There was a lot of risk back then. So people had to make these big decisions, he was saying, but we've been living in a time where we don't have to make these tough decisions anymore. And I think he's right. I think that was a good point to bring up. So yeah, some of these serious questions. Will we ever be able to travel again if we're not dosed? Will we ever be able to work for any company or even a small business if we refuse the doses, or if we refuse to wear the face mask? Are we going to find work anywhere? Are we going to be able to make money? What kind of a living are we going to be able to make? What sorts of other repressions are they going to unleash on us? They're talking of putting us under full surveillance 24/7, where your phone is no longer implicitly controlling you, it's now explicitly your jailmaster. And of course a cashless society, where they have full access to your bank account. So you would have surrendered what is left of your humanity and your ability to change the course your life takes. Hasta luego, amigos.